Hi, I'm Danica Tormolin. On December 8th, Freeman launched its new Exhibitor services platform designed to simplify and modernize the exhibitor experience from start to finish. At the International Association for Exhibitions and Events, IAEE's annual meeting and Expo in Houston, we demoed the platform on site and caught up with Freeman, VP of Exhibitor Services, Nesana, Wieger, and SVP of Customer Experience, Laure, Chachere, to give you a sneak peek. Freeman piloted this program at 4 shows in 2025 and will begin rolling it out to more shows in early 2026. Here's our interview.
I'm excited to show you. When we were building the website, a lot of it was focused on exhibitor feedback, right? We were trying to figure out, okay, what do you really want to see? How do you make this really intuitive and easy to use? And so what you're going to see as we kind of walk through it is a really similar, it should feel kind of like intuitive, what you've already seen in a normal shopping experience. People always tell us that they want things to look like Amazon. The funny part is Amazon's just geared towards shopping. And so that is one component on this site, but the other part is really education, right? So we have a lot of education built in to get them to that easy shopping experience. So that first landing page that we get on is where you will see all of your event information. So the cool part here for exhibitors is when they land on here, they're going to see all of their booths for this event. So if they happen to be an EAC and paying for someone else, they'll also see those booths. So this is really good for our EACs as well. If they have multiple booths going on the show floor, instead of having to manage multiple logins, now they have one place to see every booth going on that show. You're also going to notice that a lot of the features everything's collapsed. So the goal is figure out where you want to go and then start to go in there and you can break it down. So one of the best parts of our new site that I think most of us are excited about is this event checklist. So what you're going to notice is it's dynamic in that it brings me to where I need to be depending on where we're at in the show cycle. But the cool thing here is it's telling you exactly what you need to do. Like, so these are best practices for these parts of the life cycle. And again, everything is done in dynamic by their booth. So here we'll list every single booth that they have and what they need to see. So they can go booth by booth and manage a list that is important to this booth.
Okay.
And then as they select things, it just drops into this corner or drops down here so they can continue to see what they've already done. Yeah. So they don't lose visibility. You kind of maintain visibility, but also make it a very practical working area.
Okay. So checklist is key.
Checklist is key.
And number 2 down there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then event schedule is another one that I think we'll see a lot of use out of. And this one's mostly about where they're at. So again, it's very color coded, very obvious. It's telling them what they need to any key deadlines, what's going on the show floor, right? What they need to be seeing. And then if they want to view the full schedule or add it to their calendars directly, they have a full download feature.
Okay.
From there, so the other big piece now is that shopping. About, right? So we have all the information. Now we're getting into that shopping experience. The key for us is customers a lot of times don't even know what they need to order, right? So there's so many opportunities on here. So what we have created is a shopping guide.
Okay.
So the shopping guide automatically will tell them whether or not that event requires anything. So if flooring is mandatory, it's going to put flooring there.
Okay.
The very cool part about it is that it doesn't focus on just Freeman items. So if flooring happens to be done by a different contractor, it's going to take them to whoever's providing flooring for that event. And that way they can get what they need based on the show. Recommended items are going to be all those very basic items, electrical, tables, chairs, wastebasket, right? The things that you need to bare minimum exhibit. And then we've also started to include elevated experience things. Because sometimes we've noticed, you get to the show floor, you have a little booth FOMO, and you're like, I didn't even know you could get that.
Yeah.
And so this is where it starts to tell you, okay, here are some other things, or you get vacuuming seems so little, but it is something that really will elevate the booth.
Yeah, I like how you said it too. Recommended items and elevated experience. Right. Worded it like it's not. You don't have to have it, but. Yeah.
And so easy also for people to just figure out like, oh my gosh, I need carpet for this.
Right.
Like another place where they're just being reminded of things they have to order.
Exactly. And then we always want to tell you what's in your booth space so that you don't spend time. You can see what the colors are, right? We are in a test environment, but obviously if there's anything special in there, colors are going to be important because if you're getting straight tables, you want to know what colors. The other part with our shopping experience that we learned is that customers have a hard time knowing who to go to for what, but you know what you need, right? So I need AV. So we've done everything now where it's alphabetical by what you need, no matter who the vendor is. So even if Freeman is not the audiovisual person, again, it's going to be AV is first because it's A. Whoever's
alphabetical order.
So as you hover over it, it'll start to engage with you. So you can kind of see what you're looking at. So yeah, everything you're going to notice on this page will be alphabetical. And you can kind of see audiovisual, then cleaning services, or an essential.
So what was it like before?
Before it was very nested. So the other thing you're seeing is like this second level view. So you had to know, I would have to go to specialty contractors and then go find my audiovisual. I would just be searching audiovisual until I knew that, oh, it must not be Freeman, it's somewhere else. So now it's just in your face. And then it's also showing you the next thing tiered down of things that are in that area. So that you're not clicking into all the various, like I'm not going into to foreign essentials for an exhibit package. I know
Right.
that's
You
gonna be
can
somewhere
see
else.
what's
You'd have
in
to
it.
back out
Yeah,
the full
yeah,
site.
yeah.
So
It looks really, I like it the way it's organized.
good.
It seems like a good, you know,
It's intuitive. It's a way to
intuitive.
shop.
And the other thing is, you know, some exhibitors, obviously there's different levels of sophistication with exhibitors. And so
Right.
some exhibitors just don't know and like how to use things. And so it needs to be intuitive, especially for new
That's right.
exhibitors and some of the smaller exhibitors. Yeah.
And if we're lucky, we always have like a lot of new exhibitors coming
Well,
into the
right.
state.
And,
Yeah.
and there are always new exhibitors. And I mean, they're the life and breath of any show. So
And that's the other thing, Danica, that we realized too, and we always realize, they're not only using this to shop, but they are using this to educate themselves as well, right?
right.
And so somebody like an EAC who does this all the time, they don't need to necessarily know what material handling is. But
Right.
some of those first-time exhibitors are like, what is
They
that? So
do.
we have,
Yeah.
they can find their own path through this for what they need to learn.
Okay.
Right. And the path should be simple, right? It should not be like me flipping around all over the place trying to figure it out. It should be very intuitive. So you'll see we've made sure that the wording, you know, shipping and handling is we're not saying drayage. We're trying to get pretty simple on the website, but this is the next part. And I think it's
Okay.
probably one of my favorites. That might be because I work with material handling.
You're
It's
partial.
like,
Yeah.
So material handling agreements can all be created digitally online. And now they can be completely managed online. So if I want to say, okay, I have one crate going out now, I know what's happening. I know how much I think it weighs.
Right.
Everything can be updated as we're on the site. You can change your destination, change your carrier. It's very
Okay.
flexible.
Okay.
So you're not having to keep coming to the desk and say, oh, I'm changing my carrier, or oh, I'm changing that address. You can control it all yourself. So whether you create it or we create it for you, you have full access to edit it. Then
Okay.
once the show closes, we open it back up and you can submit it. So you no longer have to come to the they don't have to come to the service desk, wait in line to turn it in, and do it from there. And then exhibitor services gets notified, and then we handle it from there with the carriers. So it's really cool, way digital.
Without a doubt, like that's the time that we get the longest lines at the service
Yes.
desk, right? The
Yeah.
show
Right.
closes, everybody's ready
Everyone
to get the
wants
heck
to get
of here.
out,
They're
yeah.
in a rush, right? And
Yeah.
waiting in that service desk at the end is just not where they want to be.
Right.
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 So this is,
They want to leave. And so
we're
this will-
excited about this.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And they
Great.
can do it for all their different booths too, right? So you
Yes.
can be
Do 5 booths.
Okay.
might be ready for one booth, but not the others.
So is this launched right now and available for any Freeman client shows that you?
We're piloting it now.
Okay.
So we've done a pilot with multiple shows and been
Okay.
getting customer feedback. I mean, that's one thing. Obviously, as we're continuing to get customer feedback, that's going into
Sure.
future iterations of this.
Yeah.
We'll be launching to a larger number of shows in early 2026, and then it's going to be gradual. It's going to depend on location, complexity. You know, some of the shows that have just more custom items to them are going to be one of the ones that we'll work with in a little bit further down the road. But
Yeah.
eventually, everything's going to transfer over to this new experience.
We're hyper focused on progress, right? So we want to make sure that we keep understanding, is it hitting the mark?
Can you tell me any of the shows that you would have tested on at all?
We just did it in breast cancer, the breast cancer show
We're
in
at-
San
we're there right
Antonio.
now.
So we're starting with some of the, I say smaller shows. So we're looking at about the 250 booths to start
Okay.
off with. So that's
Okay.
a good number. Those are shows that are manageable, that we are able to get a lot of customer feedback from. And then we'll just start working it up with the larger shows.
What has been like, you know, some of the feedback so far? I know obviously, you know, one of the things with new tech or new processes with anybody, right, is it takes a time to adopt it, right, and understand it and actually use it. Some people don't use it. So what's been your experience so far with
I'll
that
let you answer that
aspect?
too. But one thing I'll say is we have so many customers that are so familiar with Freeman Online because it has been where they go to for so long. So I think when they're first getting on this, it is new for them. So we are definitely having to kind of help people just understand it. And then what we're finding is after they're on it a couple of times, they're realizing how simple it is to find.
It
things.
looks
But it's
very, it
retraining
looks
yourself.
very,
Because I think of it like when you jump on Amazon or Facebook or whatever, and any of these that changes the homepage, and you jump on, you're like, "Ooh, this looks different,"
right.
and then you're like, "Oh, but this makes sense. Okay, I'll click over here." Right? So
Yeah.
just kind of retraining people to
Yeah.
understand that it looks different, but it's everything that you've ever had to get and more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the visibility is the piece that we get the most of, because today you can kind of see what your orders are, but you can't interact with anything. And so now they're starting to get the customers that know it. If they know what they can't see before, now they're starting to see the differences. And then customers that are completely brand new are just like, oh yeah, it's a website,
Yeah.
which is what we want, right?
Yeah.
We don't want
Yeah.
them to make it. Should not feel super complicated. It should be like, yeah, it's a website. I'm navigating it.
So it's online. Is there an app at all?
Well, it's actually what's even better. It's mobile friendly, so you can use it on your phone, your iPad.
And one huge feature we didn't talk about too, the whole idea behind this is it's obviously pre-ordering, but then it follows, the whole site follows them when they come on site. So when
Okay.
they're on site, they're able to submit service requests to us without, again, having to come track down a Freeman person or come to the desk. They can get right on their phone wherever they are, submit a service request, and we know what's in their booth. So right off, it'll say, okay, we know that you've ordered these 30 things. Which one of these do you have an issue with, right? And they can click, right, it's this chair. This chair's missing. This chair came dirty. I need to switch this out. And then it's logging it with us, and then they're able to see in real time where we are. So it'll tell you it's in progress, and acknowledge that you submitted this, and then they know when it's completed as well. That's
Awesome.
nice too. So, and we're never going to get rid of a service desk.
Right.
We want people to have that contact with us. But a lot of people, we know why they're here. It's to do commerce. It's to network with people. It's to stay in their booth, and that's where they should be. They shouldn't have to come find us.
Are you using are there any like chatbot features in here, to ask questions or whatever?
Yes. So we just introduced something called Sky about a year or so ago. It is a chatbot. We're taking that a little more in-house though. So we have something in the works right now, and it'll be rolled out with this as well. So that's kind of exciting too. So that's coming. But yes, there'll be some chatbot features too.
So how many exhibitors do you think have like played around with it, used it so far in your testing?
I'm going to do quick math on that.
Few hundred, 1,000?
Easily over 1,000. Easily over 1,000.
And on the customer side, so, not on the exhibitor side, on the show organizer side, what's been the feedback from, like the breast cancer, event organizer?
They're liking it. And I think they're liking it because they know it's easier for their exhibitors. So, the show organizer, although they're not getting on our site necessarily because they're working with sales contacts, if we can make this process easier, it's less calls that they're getting. It's less times that they need to get involved. And so we're getting good service, really good feedback from that, which is great.
I would think that they would want anything to make it, again, easier.
Exactly.
To do business.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. And have them have a good experience when they're on site. So we were talking about the shows that you tested on. So what's one of the ones coming up, like Q1? Which ones are going to be taking advantage of it? Can you release any?
Have we set any names yet for Q1?
Well, they're the same ones that piloted before.
That's
so now
true.
we're going to second to round 2. Yeah, so it's Southwest Car Wash, and I can't remember the other one, but they were part of our original class. Now they're getting to do their second.
That's right.
Yeah, they'll get to see kind of what has evolved based on their feedback. Which will be really fun.
And we'll be continuing to evolve because we don't want to just push it out to people. We want to make sure the show organizers have seen it and understand it and what we're rolling out to the exhibitors as well. But I think that was a really good sign too, because we started off initially with 4 pilots.
Okay.
And they all came back and said, we want to do this. They didn't say, no, go bring us back to the old one.
Nobody wanted to go back. That's good to know. All right. Well, great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's always good to see you.
It's exciting.